Hey Aubrey, you know what?
What?
When I was a kid, a lot of things I wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be the Penguin from Batman. I wanted to be a lot of things, but most creepy kids always wanted to be Dracula.
I bet.
And as you know, as far as I'm concerned, Christopher Lee was the best Dracula of all time. And I know we'll debate on that maybe on a later video. But what, other than the medallion and the cape and everything, what's the one thing that you can think of that spans all of the different various incarnations of the classic version of Dracula? If there was one piece of, besides the cape and the medallion, what would you say the one thing that just is Dracula?
Something on my mind. You wear it on your hand. I can't quite form the words, but it's jewelry. Oh, ring.
You mean this ring?
Yes, actually.
I'm Sean,
I'm Aubrey.
and you're watching BooVille
TV.
TV.
Welcome back, ghouls and ghoulinas. Today, we have another special twofer for you-fers. Reviews-fers. Some way.
That aren't related.
No, actually, not at all related. In the least bit. But, they're still pretty fucking cool.
Yes.
First thing we're going to be reviewing is, if you could tell by the intro, Dracula's Ring.
I have wanted a replica of the Dracula ring for as long as I can remember. And much to my happiness, several years ago, and they've just done a recent reproduction of them. Several years ago, Factory Entertainment put out the what they call the Ring of Dracula Collector's Edition prop, and then they have an Elite Edition. I don't own the Elite Edition that comes in different sizes and is actually made out of silver and has real cerulean stone and all of that. And I don't really need it because I was pleasantly surprised with this. Here's, I'll show you a couple of pictures of the way that it comes packaged. Sadly, I didn't, for some, and it might be around the crypt somewhere, but sadly I did not keep the first part of the outer packaging. I did not, Belfry, I did not keep the outer packaging accessible. So, Belfry is a shy horror kitty. But when you get the ring, and then we'll get into history of this and why this particular replica, you cannot, this is the ultimate replica. And there are several historical reasons why when you do the research. And originally it was marketed as Bela Lugosi's Dracula ring, and while that is true-ish, it's when you put this on your finger, once you know the history of this particular replica, you will feel even more connected with the Count than you have ever before. But going into it, when it comes, the packaging that I don't have accessible is a really neat plastic box that has Universal Horror Monsters and Dracula on it and all of that. But it also comes with a nice little presentation box if you want to not wear it. But why the fuck would you not want to wear this? So you can take it off and you can slip it inside the little presentation box like this. And you can have it on a hutch or a curio cabinet or somewhere prominent display if you have a Dracula display. One of the things that we will be getting soon is the Dracula family crest that's on this ring, but they have it in a plaque form, and it's antiqued resin, so it actually looks like metal. But I'm not going to keep this in the box because I honestly, and Aubrey can tell you, I wear this almost every day. I have wanted this ring, and there was a lot of discussion when it came time to purchase this, because what I wanted was the replica of Christopher Lee's ring, which is the exact same damn thing except without the cerulean or the red stone in it. But after doing the research on this prop, I'm even more happy because I can say that I not only have Bela's ring, but I have Christopher Lee's ring, I have John Carradine's ring, I possibly have Lon Chaney's ring, and there's some notes that I took on this. So when the Factory Entertainment originally put this prop out, they, as I said, marketed it as Bela Lugosi's Dracula ring. And yes, that is true. However, Bela did not wear this ring in Dracula. Bela did wear this ring later on. Originally, this particular ring was worn by John Carradine in the 1944 House of Frankenstein and House of Dracula films. After that, Bela Lugosi did wear this ring in Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. Then the ring sort of passed on to Forrest Ackerman of Famous Monsters Filmland magazine. And in the 60s, Forrest Ackerman, who wore this ring, much like I do, every day of his life, over the years it kind of got beat to hell. But what Forrest Ackerman did was he made molds of this ring and would sell it for a whopping, if you can imagine this price in the 60s, for $60 in the 60s. And that would be like almost $200-300 now. And that was for not as good of a cast. And the interesting thing about the Ackerman cast ring is that it did not have the stone. Ackerman, when the late, great Sir Christopher Lee took on the part of Dracula, Ackerman sent Christopher Lee a version of this ring that was just the metal and had an adjustable band in the back. And there was a company for a while that put that out. And that's what I was going to buy. And then the night that I went to purchase the ring, we were saddened. Aubrey can tell you I was almost inconsolable because it was no longer available and they had no plan to remake it.
I think it was actually me that convinced you to buy this one.
Yeah, I didn't want to.
He was stubborn.
I knew what I wanted. I wanted Christopher Lee's ring. Damn it.
I'm like,
that's
this
my
still
favorite
looks
Dracula.
really fucking cool. It's still a Dracula ring. It looks almost the damn same with just, a few minor differences, like the red. But it's a Dracula ring. It still looks really fucking cool. It's Bela's ring. Just get it. Shut up and get it.
Yeah, she really did have to. And I want to say we sat there for, God, it had to have been almost 2-3 hours. Going back and forth. We were watching, I don't even remember what horror movie we were watching at the time. But I couldn't even concentrate on the film. Because she noticed me kept getting on the laptop and going back and then looking at the Christopher Lee ring, and then looking at this one and going, oh, I don't know. And it's the price. And we'll talk about the price in a minute because you can't beat it. So, a little more interesting history of this. So once Ackerman died, the ring sort of went into limbo world. The interesting thing about this ring is that every major Dracula, with the exception of the modern era of Gary Oldman and so on, but every major classic Dracula has worn this goddamn ring, or a version of it. Same crest and all. And the crest is what gets interesting. Because when they got Ackerman, the original Ackerman ring to make the molds of this, or the casting for this, they did a lot of refurbishing, and they noticed when they took the crest off of the stone that it looked like there had been another inlay at one point. And after doing some research, it looks a lot like Lon Chaney's ring. And if that's the case, from 1943's Son of Dracula, that would be the first Dracula to wear this ring. So if indeed this was Lon Chaney's ring first, you got Lon Chaney, Bela, John Carradine, and Sir Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
So I could not be more pleased with this ring. Like I said, we'll show you close-up stills of the ring at the end of the video. One thing. When you get the collector's edition, it only comes in a size 10. That was the other issue that we had, because my hands are so big, because I'm a fat fucking bastard.
No, he's not.
So, it only comes in a 10, but that's perfect, because I wanted to wear it like Christopher Lee on the pinky. And this, the famous, the one real good line from Dracula 80, 1972, where Johnny Alucard is, "Master, I've brought you back. I did it. It was my will." And that was a really damn good Christopher Lee. "It was my will, you son of a bitch. I am Sir Christopher Lee, you piece of..." Anyway, I'm the man with the golden gun. So, anyway, it's about $40. 45 plus shipping.
Not bad at all.
No, if you want a Dracula ring, and the bitch is heavy. When you first put it on, you'll notice yourself doing all kinds of things to flourish because you think it's going to fall the fuck off because it's so sturdy. And if you punch somebody with this, I wouldn't suggest that because it would hurt the ring. But I mean, it fits perfect. If you want something that's Dracula, if you're looking for something that's a little more subtle, don't get this ring because there's nothing subtle about this.
No.
The crest is amazing. I cannot stress this highly enough. If you are a fan of classic Dracula films or the Count in general, get this fucking ring. I think the only Dracula from the past or that really hasn't worn this ring is maybe Count Chocula. But
or Dracula.
My impression of the ring,
Yeah, I do agree. It has a nice weight on it for a ring that unfortunately doesn't fit any of my fingers. But for $40, despite it only comes in one size, this is like amazing for the price that you pay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I do that a lot. I suck.
No.
So if you are the girlfriend, fiance, or wife of a creepy kid, or someone into classic horror,
buy this for them. They will love you forever if it fits their finger.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. This is like the perfect present for someone that loves Dracula anything. Great price, amazing quality.
yeah,
You can't go wrong. 100%.
and it's sturdy as hell.
Yeah, 100% recommend.
It was my will. So, for the Dracula ring from the factory, I can never say it. I don't know why I can never remember the name, but Factory Entertainment. At $45 or so, you can find it on Amazon, because you can find everything on Amazon except the Confederate battle flag. But I would 1,000 out of 10 skulls for this. I wear this almost every day, and it has not gotten beaten up or anything because I really do try to take loving care of it, and I polish it once a week. I'm Sean.
I'm Aubrey.
And you have just been watching BooVille TV.